So the second thing I want to talk about is watering, and this is really where people mess up on watering their African violets. So there's two methods, and both are okay. I prefer one over the other. So the first one I'm going to talk about is watering from the bottom. So I have this African violet sitting in a little tray, and you can water lightly and let it kind of leach up from the bottom. That way you don't get any water on the leaves. So that's one of the things that can really hurt an African violet, is getting anything touching on the leaves or the blooms. They really don't like that, especially they do not like water touching the leaves, and that's where you'll run into trouble. So if you're kind of afraid of that, watering from the bottom is a good method. However, you have to watch that it doesn't get too much water. African violets do not like to be too wet, so not soggy, and they also don't like to be too dry. So the best thing you can do is carefully go through and touch that soil, put your finger in there or use a moisture meter and see how much moisture there is. That soil should not be bone dry. So when it's time to water your African violets, about once a week, and check about midweek too. You want to check and probably water about once a week. So the method that I actually prefer is using a real dainty watering can that has a very narrow tip that I can get right in there. Again, we don't want to be touching the plant. We don't want to be touching or getting water on the leaves. So I can get right in here in water. I'm not going to give it a whole lot because I probably will come back and check a little bit later. Sometimes that water will kind of go through and it'll get absorbed back in. So again, watering about once a week, checking maybe midweek, see if that plant needs any more water. And you probably need to check a little more often in the winter because the air is typically it's so dry and that moisture is so low that the air will just draw that moisture right out of the plant. So you might have to check a few more times in the winter when the air is really dry. Summer's not as bad, but go through, touch the soil, and go through and poke and see if that needs. Don't let it go too dry and not too soggy. Think about what an African violet, in its natural, they don't grow in the ground. They usually grow on like rocks and kind of in moss in undercovered areas that are getting that bright light. So they don't have this deep root system. They have very, very shallow roots, and it's kind of a dainty system. So they don't spread out real far. So you do want to touch that soil and see if it's too dry and not too wet. So right down the middle on watering your African violets. Again, I really like to use the watering from the top. That's for me, that's preferred. You can find out more. We have lots of tips and tricks on our beatyourneighbor.com website. We have our blog articles, we have how-to videos. You can check out our YouTube channel and be sure to like and subscribe our videos and share them with your friends. We would love for our information to get out to more people, more gardeners, more friends of yours, and we know that there's people that are looking for this information. So please like our page, our videos, and subscribe to us and share with your friends. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.